Welcome to What the Wrestling, a show where I take a look at the various wrestling shows and the moments that make me say, what the? Well, you can't make this stuff up. Or, I guess you can, since they do. But, I'm starting in AEW, where our favorite Canadian zombie, Ethan Page, followed up on the whole Darby Allin is so totally bullied situation. And it results in, I kid you not, a Coffin match. This is supposed to be more towards Darby Allin, but I can't help but think about the whole Ethan Page being a zombie thing. And it just comes together so funny. Hopping over to NXT real quick, where Cameron Grimes had lost his rematch to try to get the $1 Million Championship from LA Knight, and was now forced to be LA Knight's butler. Turns out, he's taking to it quite well. Actually kind of enjoying himself, which is ticking LA Knight off immensely. And LA Knight seems to have no idea what a butler actually does. But then again, neither does Cameron Grimes. They're having him in the whole butler suit thing that you'd expect. But instead of managing the household and working with underlings, LA Knight's basically having him do whatever random chore he wants done. A butler is not a maid. A butler pretty much delegates to the maids and the other members of the house staff. Which makes the moment where Cameron Grimes pays a child to mow the lawn he was told to mow actually kind of fitting with what a butler really does. For the rest of the show, we're talking WWE. And since we were talking about a man forced into servitude by losing, I think it's only suiting that we talk about a man who lost everything because of a match. Everything is going downhill for Baron Corbin. He lost a good deal of money on a bunch of bum stock things. Had his car repossessed. He's losing his home. His wife has decided to leave him. Everything is going up very poorly for poor Baron Corbin, who is slowly learning to try to not be a jerk, but he's terrible at it. But remember Baron Corbin, he'll be important later. Last month marked the last days of WWE's Thunderdome, as they had been gearing up to return to live shows in front of an audience. Naturally, they're making a big deal about returning to a live audience, but there was a short period where they were almost acting like they were going to miss the Thunderdome. Making a big deal about this being the last Raw, or the last SmackDown, or the last pay-per-view that is going to be in the Thunderdome. Acting like they're actually going to miss the darn thing. Oh, Thunderdome, we hardly knew ye. Eva Marie had recently returned with her assistant Dewdrop, as I mentioned before. Well, this is all about her evolution, about all being about her, it being so incredibly amazing, yada yada. Well, Eva has recently run afoul of Alexa Bliss and her demonic doll Lily. Eva, thinking she's too good for everything, and in her attitude has basically started to rub Lily the wrong way. Of course, this led to some of the supernatural things to start happening, but also, in the middle of a Eva Marie Dewdrop tag team match, a video segment showed where Lily did a mock-up of Eva Marie's welcoming promo, where Eva talked about being not just a pretty face, a role model, all these other things that you get from pseudo self-important celebrities. But my favorite part of the Lily mock-up was when Lily was talking about her Lilyvolution and how she hopes to show every girl that they need to follow their nightmares. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view was this month, and almost a superhero, Nikki Cross, wound up becoming the surprise Miss Money in the Bank. Good for her. Way to push this whole superhero thing. This, of course, granted her the superpower of being able to cash in her Money in the Bank championship title contract for a chance at the women's world title. Wow. Well, the very next night, after a brutal match between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, in which Charlotte attempted to escape with her title through countout and then disqualification, and that just ticked Rhea off and beat Charlotte down. Down comes Mickey, cashing in her title shot and winning it from Charlotte Flair, giving Nikki Cross another superpower. Women's champion. Roman Reigns had recently beaten Edge at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and declared that there was just simply no one left to challenge him. Not 2 seconds after saying those probably very foolish words, then out came to the ring the living meme, John Cena. Hey, what about me? And Roman Reigns turned him down. No, I don't want to fight you. You're boring. You're boring. You're the same thing you've ever been. Blah, blah, blah. I hate you. You're not worthy, or some nonsense. He turned Cena down. Then out came Finn Balor from NXT. Hey, you turned Cena's challenge down. What about mine? And Roman Reigns actually went like, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll take on Finn Balor. And so it was all set up. There was a contract signing to be made. And you know, these always go smoothly with absolutely no incident whatsoever. Roman Reigns signed his end. Finn Balor was about to sign on his dotted line when Baron Corbin rained down. You remember Baron Corbin, right? He caused a bit of chaos, caused a disruption, allowed for people to be down in the ring and make an attempt at hit Finn Balor, grabbed the contract, and was going to sign it himself to put himself into a match with Roman Reigns that, win or lose, would have given him a lot more money that he desperately needed. But then all of a sudden, John Cena runs down, beats up Baron Corbin, and signs the contract himself, forcing himself into being the contender for Roman Reigns. And I'm like, is that how that works? Apparently, the following SmackDown, they address it that apparently he can, because the SmackDown general manager liked the idea. But anyway, I guess we're in the middle of the summer of Cena. Which, since the summer is nearly over and they just now announced this was a little weird. But that's the nature of this show, being a little weird. And speaking of the show, it's at its end. So I've got nothing else to talk about. This is a fun little romp. I hope to have a lot more to talk about next month But until then, my friends, I'll see you in the ring.